I'm making these videos on Musica Bella for administrators, for elementary administrators, because I feel it's important that they, understand what goes into Musica Bella so that you know what to expect when someone implements my ideas at your campus. First of all, what is Musica Bella? Musica Bella is an approach, it's an idea, it's a way of thinking about how music education can be implemented, the interactions between the adult and the children. It's not a curriculum. It doesn't say do this on this day, do this on that day, do this in this prescribed order. All of the things that you'll want your music specialist to cover in a year will be covered, but it's not necessarily going to be atomistic. It's inspired by the practices of Reggio Emilia in Italy and Reggio-inspired classrooms. That very much collaborative way of engaging in some discipline, some domain. And it's to bring out the best in the children and best in the adult. Musica Bella is as much about getting the most out of your children as it is getting the most out of the music professional that you have hired at your campus. So often our music teachers, as we'll call them, simply purvey information that they're given in a book and then they'll give to you or give to the children. And that really cuts the music specialist, the musician of the music teacher, music specialist, out of the equation. You want that musician. They spent many, many hours learning a craft, and you want that in your school each and every day, and your children deserve that. Musica Bella depends on the musical skills, the interpretive skills, and the technical skills of the music specialist, of the musician that you have hired. Now, when we usually conceive of music education in the classroom, it's that the music specialist is going to play a CD and sing along. This really isn't a sing-along approach. This is creating music in the moment for the benefit of the children who are right there. And it really takes a lot of skills that most every music specialist or every musician should have, and I'm sure the music specialist at your campus also has these skills. It's getting the children to sing one part and the musician, the music specialist, to sing a harmonic part over it or under it. It's to improvise a rhythm that complements a melody, and thereby vicariously helping children understand that we can put our musical minds into what's already happening, and it doesn't have to come out of a book. Which is another great point about Musica Bella. It's not about outside music. Outside music is music that comes from a book. We all know that music. It comes from a score. Musica Bella is not about a score. It's inside music, what everyone brings to the table. And because children are children and don't necessarily have the same experiences and skill sets, the adult, your musician, your music specialist, brings that to the table and makes whatever's going on that much richer. Musica Bella is about making choices. In life, we always make choices. And Musica Bella is about making choices in music. Musical choices aren't necessarily right and wrong. Well, let me put it this way. If you have a score or a script and it says do this and this and this in that order and you don't, then you're wrong. But in the real world of music, there's a little play. There's a little latitude for this or that. And what we need to do, what I think we need to do, is help children make appropriate musical choices. It's about choices. If we want a child to write a story, do we really care if they use a crayon or a marker? No, we care that they write a story. If we want a child to create a piece of music with this or that, we really don't care if they create it on a xylophone or on timpani. We just want them to create it. It's the same idea. We want children to read. We don't, well, I suppose we do care what they read, but truth to be told, we just want them to read fluently so they can enjoy reading. So it doesn't matter what they read at some point. It's just that they read. Same idea. It's choices. We're not going to dictate what children read as adults. We're going to allow them to make their own choices. Same here. Another important aspect of musica bella is that we are focusing on musical independence. Right from the start, from day one, the idea is that children can be musically independent right from the get-go. Certainly they won't have the skill set that they will in 5 years. However, they can be independent within the limitations of their skill sets right off the bat. It's not preparing them for a future, it's preparing them for now, this day, taking the skill set that you have and making the most of it this day. This day. Musica bella is an approach that focuses on developing children's cognitive ability to imagine musical patterns and to put those patterns into the music they're creating. It's about developing technical skills so that they can play or sing the music that they create or that others create, and it's developing their interpretive skills, singing or playing in the most culturally authentic way for the music. The focus of musica bella is to create, to think, and to discuss musical decisions. Again, the focus is to think, to create, and to discuss musical decisions, thereby getting into not what did you do, but why did you make that decision? You could have made this decision or that decision, but you chose to do this. Why? When we get to the why, as you know, we begin to understand the child's thinking. And that musica bella is an approach that does not myopically stare at signs and symbols. Certainly reading notation is important, certainly writing notation is important, but it is not what drives the engine of the approach. The approach is about thinking, making, and discussing. Thinking, making, and discussing music. Because in those three aspects, children will understand, they will own music, and they will keep it with them for a lifetime. There's so much they can do without musical notation. There's a lot more they can do with it, but we shouldn't cut them off at the knee, as I would say, by forcing them to read notation too early. Lastly, musica bella will cover every standard, local, state, or national standard that you are required to cover. And it will come through conversations, intellectually stimulating conversations between children and the adult.